Okay, I'm here with a lady from Ireland called Laura, and she has a story to share with us. So, Laura, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us your story?
Well, hi, I'm Laura, and I suppose I'll start by saying that on the end of August this year, 2016, my four babies were took off me by social services here in Ireland. Um, it's kind of been like a nightmare since then. I've been in and out of court fighting to get them back, and it's kind of just one nightmare after another. It's basically, you know, they're kind of going into court telling lies, and I have a couple of things kind of to have sorted for the new year because I'm back in court in the new year. But I suppose my stamp on social services would have began uh, I'd say January 2013, after I had my third baby. I got severe postnatal depression. So it was actually the public health nurse that referred me to social services, and I've kind of had them out with me since. Anyone here in Ireland dealing with social services will tell you, Niall, that you don't get rid of them straight away. They're there with you like to the end. You know,
Okay.
it kind of goes by. You get landed with a social worker, then you get sent then a family support worker, and they kind of, instead of the social worker coming out the whole time, it's the family support worker that comes out the whole time. So you can just understand, like, it's a long process to go through.
When did this
And
start? When did they start getting in contact with you?
they started getting in contact with me. It was 2013, and it was due to postnatal depression.
Right.
So it was kind of like, it was hard because I was very, very sick. I didn't know I had postnatal depression, and it was very, very hard because when I first got them sent out, it kind of felt like everything had to be perfect and you have to have everything done, and you feel like you can't even sit down to take a 5 minute rest because they're constantly kind of out checking on you. You know, and instead of being there, they're supposed to be there to support families. I felt more like they were more kind of bringing me down than anything else because I couldn't be myself and I felt everything had to be done. And I was kind of, any family in Ireland that has dealt with social services will tell you don't feel at ease with them because you hear so many stories about them. You don't feel at ease. You just feel you're kind of on your guard the whole time with them, and you feel like you're being watched the whole time, which they are watching you. You know, as they do. Like, I mean, they have the gall to look into people's house, and they can check your house, they can check your fridge to see how much milk you've in your fridge, how much bread you have in your press, and this is what they do.
Wow. And can you describe the day that your children were taken from you? Do you want to go through that or?
Oh, Niall, of course, I'll go through it. I remember it like it happened yesterday. It was the end of August 2016 this year, and I mean, I was never even told that they were going to court. I had no idea. I was at home with the kids, and I was waiting on my eldest. Um, my eldest daughter, actually, she's autism. It was her first day back at school, so my two friends were down visiting, and it was just kind of a normal day. I was having a quick cup of tea and feeding the baby, and a load of cars pulled up outside my house, and there was members of An Garda Síochána here from Mullingar. There was three or four social workers, and there was two family support workers there as well. So you can just imagine, like, it was frightening because you just see all these are so called professionals, and it's just the way they did it. They had no court order. They came in, they didn't knock at my door. They walked into my house, and they had no court order with them. They never produced any form of identification. They had nothing. They just, we're here to take your kids. And I mean, it was kind of a downhill hill battle after that because it's just the only thing that really sticks out to me the most is the cries of my children that day. It was horrendous. My eldest with autism, she would have been the most kind of, it was most upsetting for her because this is a child that has autism, and her routine was just completely smashed that day. She knew something was wrong. I mean, they were running around my house taking clothes for them to bring for the kids and the whole lot. And I was just like, like, Jesus, this can't be real. Like, I kept saying to them, where's the court order? You can't come in and take a mother's kids without the court order. And one of them turned around and said to me, "Oh, are you all right there? Are you all right there, Laura?" And of course, like, my friends were there, and like, they weren't impressed, and they were trying to help in whatever way they could, but like, obviously they couldn't. This is kind of the state you go up against. Everyone knows, like, the guards and social services work hand in hand. So it was a hard day. It was, I'd say, taking the kids, the whole timeline of it would have been, in the space of a half an hour, they had my kids packed up and gone out
Just
of my house.
just to be clear, the Garda Síochána is the Irish police force. They were actually there accompanying the social workers. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, they were there, and actually the same guard that was there the time my kids were took out of my house. It was only recently. It was a while back. One of my kids had a tear to their bottom. So naturally enough, as a parent, I was furious. I have a number of one things I could say that I was. I was heartbroken. This has been quite, like, it has been really, really stressful on me. So naturally enough, I went down to make a statement in my local guard station. I said, "Look, do your job. It's your job to protect the people of this country, and if they come to you with a problem, you have to deal with it." And he was there, "Well, like, I have to report it now to the town that your kids are in. I have to report it to them social services, and they'll report it to the guards in that town." And I said, where was the court order the day you were there when my kids were being took out of my house? And I have this on record, Niall. And he was like, "Laura, I don't know where the court order was. They didn't have one that day. As far as I know, they didn't bring one into the house with them. I never seen it. You shouldn't take it up with me. You should take it up with them." So he openly admitted, because I have him on. Obviously, I was recording him. He openly admitted, saying that there was no court order the day my kids were took. So it's totally illegal what they
Wow,
did. It's really, really illegal what they did. Like,
it's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, it definitely is.
And was there so your children were taken into care, and now
Yeah.
are they being looked after by other so-called parents, or who's looking after them right now?
Right, well, I'll explain. My four babies were separated, so two of them would be one side of the country, and then the younger two would be the other side of the country. So they're not all together, which that was really, really hard, because these little babies would have been the closest of siblings. They were always around each other, even playing with their little dolls and their toys. They were always together, and you can tell they love each other. The love there between the whole four of them is just unnatural. I've never seen, sisters to be so close. My kids are really, really close with each other, and they love each other very much, and they do miss each other. And I mean, the stuff that the CFA, that's the Child and Family Agency here in Ireland, the stunts that they're pulling, it's just something new with them every day. My kids have turned up to Access with bruises and marks on them. The youngest had a tear to her bottom, which, I mean, when she was in my care, there was never anything like that. She was never in hospital when she was in my care. But yeah, as soon as she leaves my care, she is developing this, and she's been in hospital numerous times. And it's just only recently, the other day, when I was at Access, she had blood in her nappy, and she had a massive, massive blister on her bottom as well. So, I mean, you can understand the fear, like, that I have as well, that something is going to happen to one of my kids, and then, like, who answers? Who answers? I've done so many emails to kind of high figure state authorities in this country, and I mean, it literally takes them months to get back to you. You could have sent an email at the end of August, and you'd only kind of be receiving it now. So who answers? Like, if something happens, one of my babies, who's to blame? Who answers? Because I'm not to blame, because I know my kids, everyone knows my kids were looked after when they were me. My kids were spotless. They were brought away every week. They were brought out to dinner like once a week as well. I mean, it's not a case of child neglect. They said my kids were took off me due to domestic violence, emotional abuse from domestic violence.
Okay.
And I have a strong point to say to them, and I've said it to them several times. Why under the Domestic Violence Act of 1996, TUSLA and the HSE can apply for a bar order or a protection order on the part of the victim against the perpetrator. They never did that. So it's not about, everyone knows it's not about, they never helped. They didn't want to help. The fact was they wanted my kids. It wasn't a case of, I was never even offered a place to go and bring my kids. I mean, I was constantly for fear in my life because my ex he's diagnosed with schizophrenia and that as well. Like,
Right.
you'd ring the guards and there wouldn't be a thing done. It would be a case of because like I was an activist, and as of I'd say March last year, I stopped doing. I wanted to be kind of at home more with my babies and just wanted to take time out because I was tired. And, I had a couple of health problems and health scares last year as well. So I took time out to be at home with my little babies and just kind of, everyone needs a rest in life when they're doing stuff. So I chose to take time out from activism. And I'm a Republican as well. So, I mean, I don't even have a criminal record, Niall. I have no idea. I mean, this is the kind of bullshit excuse they're giving is domestic violence. But, I mean, I have so many problems with that because if that was the case, how come TUSLA, how come they never stepped in and did anything? Why did they not leave my babies with me and just get rid of him altogether? I keep asking that and I'm not getting anywhere, like, regards answers. They won't give me answers.
Can you explain who TUSLA is in Ireland?
Right, the Child and Family Agency, there's one in every town in Ireland, but TUSLA is, like, it's social workers, like, in regards to years ago, TUSLA and the HSE were kind of all the one, but now they're like a breakaway group, but I still class them as all the one. The HSE, it would be the hospital, it would be health clinics, and that's, am I making sense?
Yes, I understand that.
So, but TUSLA is just a breakaway group now from the HSE, meaning it's just social workers by themselves, but they're still all the one. I mean, if a woman goes into hospital and she's deemed to have postnatal depression, obviously it's the hospital's kind of regards then to report that person to social workers, social services here in Ireland. That's the way it works.
Right. Okay.
They're all the one. Guards, public health nurses.
Sorry,
they're all the one in my eyes in Ireland.
I think I took you off track there. What were you saying there, Laura? Continue.
No, I was saying just about TUSLA. TUSLA and the HSE in Ireland, they're all the one. I mean, if I was only after having a baby and they thought I developed postnatal depression, or they thought there was any chance that I had postnatal depression, then they go and report to social services. It's take, for instance, if a woman had her kids took off her and she found out she was pregnant again and the hospital knew about it, the hospital reports that lady to social services to let social services know, well, look, her kids are gone and she's pregnant again, so there's another baby for you to take.
And is there an incentive for this to happen, for children to be put into foster care?
Look, it's happened. I've had so many people now come to me since the whole case with my kids, and it's been just basically, please, like, help me. My kids were talking; they're too afraid. These poor parents are too afraid to come forward to look for any help because they're being threatened by TUSLA. You'll never get your kids back if you do this, and I know myself because they've threatened me. I mean, I have thousands and thousands of recordings of them. You may get it into your head, Miss Kelly, that your kids are in care, and we'll make sure you never get them back. And I mean, I've had so many recordings, and I suppose their problem with me is they thought I was kind of like a weak link.
Yeah.
And we'll walk. She's a pushover, and she's so soft and gentle and nice because I have a massive heart, Niall. But I mean, when it comes to my kids, you can bet your life Mother Nature will be unleashed because I would take on God himself over my kids. That's just the type of person I am, and they kind of got some land with me because yes, I am a nice person. Yes, I would help anyone, but touch my kids, and that's just it. Like, the gloves are off if someone does anything to my kids, because that's all really you have in life is your children.
You're very, very correct. So is there a big problem in Ireland with this? Is there an epidemic
Yeah,
or?
like there is. It is. It started to become an epidemic now, because initially, as you know, in England, they just walk in social services now, and I mean, it's been kind of secretly recorded. All these babies been stole from loving families, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with the parents now. I've talked to some of these parents, and my God, their hearts are broken. I mean, I cry myself to sleep every night, because I'm just like, why? How is this allowed to happen? Why is there no one doing nothing? Why? There's so many good people in this country, and if they just sat down and said, well, what if that was my kids? What if that was my granddaughter? People need to wake up and realise this is happening. There's a mass change coming in our country. I mean, for social services to be able to walk in without a court order, without any documentation whatsoever, and take four little babies out of a home. And I mean, talking about like child neglect and emotional abuse, I mean, my kids, right? If a child was really, really neglected, they wouldn't be smiling, they wouldn't be spotless the way my kids were. They wouldn't be brought away on holidays and Glendare Pet Farm and
Of course, yeah.
Teo Park and the whole lot. They just wouldn't get that sort of love and treatment. And like, I can't get my head around it. It's the English laws are becoming effective in Ireland, and I'm just like, now there's the whole thing with the whole adoption law as well, where parents won't even have a say now.
Yeah, can you explain that? There's
Like,
a new law trying to be passed in Ireland now regarding adoption. Do you know anything about
yeah,
that?
the thing about that is, as you know, I've become good friends with Catty McMahon from Irish First Mothers,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Great.
mean, it was
Yeah.
done illegally years ago. Niall, it was done illegally years ago, where these mothers would have babies outside of wedlock, and they just come in, priests and nuns. This is the Catholic Church. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're up against. And they take them babies for money and foster them out to, let's say, rich parents in America. It could be anywhere. It could be England. It could be anywhere all over the world.
Right.
And I mean, what did that do? What did that do to the parents back then? I mean, you can just imagine, right? And I'd say mothers would understand me more. I'm not saying fathers don't have that bond with a baby, but mothers have it more now,
Of
because
course,
you
yeah.
give birth. These
Mm-hmm.
are your life,
Yeah.
and you can just imagine your baby after only giving birth being ripped from your arms, and naturally enough, when a baby's born, it's put down into kind of your top place in your chest, because that's kind of the bond, kind of one-to-one bond with mother and
Right,
baby.
okay.
But I mean, for a baby to be literally born and like tuck away, and you never to see your baby again until, let's say, maybe 43 years there or something like that. You can just imagine the effect and impact that has on a parent, on
And
any
yeah,
parent, and it,
and the child as well.
yeah. Because naturally enough, whether you get on with your parents or not. Like, my own relationship with my own mother wouldn't be that close, Niall. But I still have that bond there. For we don't get on. I'd still never let anyone disrespect her or talk about her, because she's my mother. I have that bond there for her
Of
because she's
course.
my mother.
Yes.
So you can just imagine, and I'm not dissing foster parents, because my own mother is a foster care, and I mean, she does a great job. She really is. She's a massive heart. But I mean, the love is not there. The same love is not there when it comes to natural parents.
Yes,
You
of
know,
course.
it's the same love is definitely not there.
And is this new adoption bill that's eroding birth parents' rights regarding
Yeah,
adoption?
it literally Nyla strips away any parents' rights. I mean, the parents won't have a say whatsoever. And I mean, obviously, naturally enough, I'm not going to stand back. And I'm sure Cathy would tell you herself as well. Like, she's not going to either, because this was done to her like a few years ago as well. So you can imagine it's kind of bringing back all them memories for her as well.
Of course,
And it
yeah.
has to be hard on her, because like, she never got justice. And how can you ever move on with your life properly when you know there was an injustice done to you, and you never kind of got justice for her? And she deserves justice now. She does. There was a terrible thing done to her and her baby, and she deserves. Someone needs to hold her hands up and say, look, we need to give this woman peace of mind and justice as well, because I mean, this like, for God's sake, it's her baby, it's her little baby, and just because, whether it be she had a baby outside wedlock, or these were the reasons years ago children were took, because they were poor,
Yeah.
because parents had babies outside wedlock. And sure, my own granny was in like one of them laundries years ago as well, because she had a baby outside wedlock. And I mean, as soon as that baby was born, it was snatched. Like, well, I don't, if I can recall. No, the baby was kind of, it was deformed and whatever, but she still never got to look at it. They put a towel over the baby and just snatched the baby away, and that was it.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
So she doesn't even know for her baby, like, whether it lived or died. That's not the case whatsoever now. She still doesn't even know where the grave of, like, the baby is. I mean, it is horrendous. It's shocking what goes on in this country, especially to our most vulnerable, children.
Yeah, of course. And what stage are you at now with the courts in Ireland and getting your children back?
Let me see, what stage am I at? Jeez, now that's a hard question
Or
to
can you?
answer, because I've so much kind of on at the moment. I've so much on. Well, I'm currently pregnant, so I'll say it on air. Everyone knows I am, anyways. But they can kind of pressure me, saying you're going for a case conference to try and take this baby as well. So you can imagine how I'm feeling, like, at the moment as well.
Yeah, are they threatening you with your child?
Oh yeah, yeah, they have, and I just keep them on walk-ons. But luckily enough, Niall, I've so many amazing friends that are great with the law, especially family law, and
Okay.
I'm kind of just working hand in hand with them, and we've like. Right, we've started, like, it's a new group. It's only recently started. It's called Our Stolen Children, and basically it's a support group for parents that have had their children stolen away from Tuzla. And just basically, if anyone wants to join in the group, and if they need help regarding paperwork or even advice, I mean, the one thing you have to do when this sort of thing does happen to you is talk. It's the only thing that keeps you going. It's just to get it all out. And like, I will admit, I have to have a cry every couple of days. If I don't cry, like, I just don't feel normal. I just feel like it's building up inside me. So you need a good sob every few days as well, just to kind of keep your head straight as well. You need to kind of keep focused. And I know everyone keeps saying to me, "Oh, how are you functioning, and how have you got so far?" And I mean, I'll tell you now, it's been hell since the end of August, and
Yeah,
people think I'm strong. Maybe I am. I don't think I am. Maybe I am.
I
I,
think
I
you
don't
are.
know,
You're
but
a warrior. You're a warrior.
I'm a warrior, I
Yeah.
think. But I just keep going, because I can't. I'd never be able to forgive myself. I don't blame parents for feeling like they have to walk away, because they go into court to lie to you, and they cancel your access every couple of weeks if you say something wrong to them, even in court, or if you try and get the upper hand on them in any sort of a level. They will cancel access and not let you see your own kids for, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, whenever they want to give you your access back. That's it. Because it was done to me a few weeks ago, because apparently I said something that they didn't like, and plus, like, my ex, I mean, by God, he's going and he's just making up lies about me every day of the week. And I mean, instead of investigating what he's going saying to them, they're basically believing it. They love the fact that he runs me into the ground, and just is so really, really, so really, really mean to me. I'm like, for the 8 years that we were together, and I, like, cooking and cleaning for this man and the whole lot, and, like, I mean, then look at the life that he gave me. I had a miscarriage over him and the whole lot, and he was never even he was arrested, but he never even got jailed for it. So I mean, you tell me about the justice in this country.
Yeah. It's there was no justice against him, but the fact that your children's been taken off you, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? of
It
what's.
makes me wonder because they're being put, them four little creators now, they're being punished, and it does break my heart. And the only thing that keeps me going is I will not stop until the man above takes the last breath from my body. I need to keep going, and I need to finish this. I need to I need to fight, and it's so hard because there's so many obstacles when you're dealing. Anyone will tell you when you're dealing with Husla, you don't get rid of them straight away. Now they're just literally the hound parents. They hound parents. It's like, if you wanted to go away on a holiday, well, you can't go tomorrow because we urge you a visit, or it just goes on like that. I mean,
And how do they treat you? How do they talk to you? What kind of attitude do they have towards you?
the thing about it is, Niall, with the girls' dads, they're actually really, really highly respectable. They talk to him like he was the man above, and then it's just kind of basically that's because he's not fighting them. He's not going up. He's not fighting them. But the thing about it is, and I've done nothing wrong. I don't have a criminal record. I was at home looking after my babies, but I just don't understand why they talk to me the way they do. I mean, it's kind of a case of I may get it into my head that my babies aren't coming home, and like, well, we are the authorities, and you will do as you're told, Laura. And I was just kind of like, who the hell do they think they are?
Hmm. Wow. So is there
And I
anything?
did
Oh, go on ahead.
at one stage, Niall, I did try complying with them. I said maybe I'm taking the wrong approach, and
Right.
it was the worst thing I ever did because when they kind of seen me dropping down below their level, it was a case of they thought they could trample me into the ground, and I couldn't do it. I was like, oh, F this. I can't do this. Like, I mean, you do everything they ask you to do,
Yeah.
and then imagine going into court. Well, Judge, Laura was throwing us dirty looks the other day, and I was like, what's throwing you dirty looks got to do with the rearing of my kids and the bringing up of my kids? But like, she was throwing us dirty looks, Judge, and I mean, like, she won't answer our phone call some days, and I was like, oh my bloody god.
And does the
I mean,
judge listen? Does the judge listen to this?
oh yes, he does. Oh yes, he does.
Oh my
Now
God.
it's kind of the case of now, like, you have to answer, and I'm like, what the f is this all about? This is a farce of a court. I mean, there's no proper judge or jury. Basically, what they say, they imagine they have the neck to get up and put their hands on a holy Bible and swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, and to tell the lies that they tell. And when you, like, speaking of on behalf of my stupid solicitor that got the sack last week, I mean, he sits there and he will not open his mouth. So basically, I will speak for myself, and I have studied law. And actually, to be honest about it, I can't speak in court in regards to family law. And if a judge doesn't know the UN conventions and the rights of children with disabilities, well, then he's not a judge. I'll just
Right.
tell you that much. He's not a judge.
And what's the relationship you told me? I don't know if you want to tell me with your lawyer and the judge.
Well, I have a lot of friends, and I mean, some of them, they do. It's the whole corruption thing in this country, and I only recently found out, Niall, that actually my so-called ex-solicitor is actually on really, really good terms with the so-called judge involved in my children's case. So, like, you can imagine what way I'm thinking. But when I first said that I was going for a judicial review,
Yeah.
my ex solicitor turned around and advised me not to. Which, if he was any sort of a decent solicitor, he'd encourage you to go for one. And I just knew when he said, "Oh, there's no need to go for one. You'll have your kids back within 2 weeks." And let me tell you something, Niall. It's been a long 2 weeks since he told me I was getting my kids back. I mean, they're gone now at the end of August, and we're at Christmas. Where are my children?
Do you think there was collusion with him and the
I
system?
think definitely. I know for 100%, right? I was an activist, Niall, and I mean, the guards don't like that. I'm a Republican. The guards, let me tell you something. The guards despise Republicans, right? The guards despise Republicans, but yeah, the guards don't seem to have a problem with all the drug dealers around the country. But that's it for another story.
They're probably
But I
making
just
they're
can't
probably
get.
making money off it. That's why.
I've seen it myself. Guards standing down the street taking their little brown paper envelopes of all the drug dealers in nearly in every town. I mean, we know what goes on,
Oh
and
my
the
God. Yeah.
guards don't like that. And then a detective rang me there, middle of November, telling me that there was a threat to my life, and I was like, right, yeah, because like I have a criminal record and I have so many enemies, right, who'd want to bump me off. But I was kind of listening, so I rang back the guard station, and obviously the guard that answered the phone had not a clue what I was talking about. But I heard of no threat, and if there was a threat, we'd all know about it and all this crap out of him. So, who's the name of the detective that has told you this? So I gave the name. So the detective rang me back. Now, Laura, I never rang you. I said, right. I said, did you not? Well, I said, I have you on record. Well, I did ring you, but I didn't say there was a threat to your life. I said there was a possible threat. So you can see, Niall, where this is going.
And there was no repercussions for him for saying that? He was never disciplined or anything like that,
Oh,
no?
well, no, he wasn't. What I actually did. Now I wrote I wrote a beautiful letter to the superintendent. He should have received it by now. But basically, I'm not letting this go. I mean, what I think they're doing there is they know I'm back up January in the family law court, and it's going to be like I've everything done right in regards to what I was asked to do. Forensic psychology assessment that's finished with. Um, they keep going on about my mental health, but now I'm as sharp as I'm as sharp as a tool, and I'll tell you, I'd buy and sell every one of them. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with my mental health. I
Yeah, but
suffer with anxiety, everyone does, and especially it's got quite worse since the kids were took. But I have to kind of do my breathing exercises and whatnot. I will tell you, like, I mean, it's a joke. I do laugh. I do actually laugh because they have nothing on me. So this is their new thing now. They'll go into we give Kelly her children back. The judge because there's a threat to her life. It's something right now. There's something with them every. I want then one. Oh, she's shocking looks and she's doing this and she's doing that. It's a joke. Really, it's disgusting. What to do at court? I call it like a kangaroo court. That's what I call it because it's like a circus.
sounds like a kangaroo court, alright there.
Definitely like the corruption. And I asked a highly professional that was sent down to kind of interrogate me the other day at some big massive meeting. And naturally enough, she kind of was open. She was like, "You've no recording devices on you." I said, "No, of course I don't." But like, I mean, obviously I did, and I took out my Olympus recorder and it was switched off. But I had another one in my bag that was switched on. So I mean, you have to kind of, you have to kind of, you have to be two steps ahead of them.
Yeah.
And I said, "Can you tell me what can you tell me what the in-camera rule is?" And she was like, well, they say it's for the protection of the children's names, but really it's to protect what's said in court. And I was like, right, well that's not what we're told. Parents are told opposite. If you mention it to a judge, it's kind of like, well, it's there to protect the children's name. Now, that's a lie. That is a lie. It's to protect what's said in court because I record my court cases, and if I'm caught doing that, I'd be in serious trouble. But I tell you, I don't really care. But some of the things that's said in court, especially in family law, it's horrendous. To be honest about it, I mean, my God, if anyone heard it, it'd be like, oh
And
God, that's
and you're not allowed to record in court, is it?
No, you're not because apparently there's no cameras now in there, Niall. But basically there's it's called a DAR. It's like a little recording device. And half the time now it's not switched on. It's switched off. So I mean, no one knows. The only one that knows what's going on in that court is the people that's in the court, and apart from me, because I have a tendency for never doing what I'm told anyways. So if they
Right.
tell me to do one thing, I do the opposite because you know the way they work.
I know in America, if there's enough media outlets come together, they can get inside the court. But I'm sure in Ireland it's different.
It's very secretive, Niall, in Ireland, and basically what our group, and there's a lot of parents that are in the same position as me, and only recently I've had a good friend, she has had all of her kids returned to her, and I mean, she'd even tell you herself, Niall, and my heart breaks for, the kids aren't the same, they're, even their behaviour is not the same, excuse
Yeah.
me, even their behaviour is not the same, and it's kind of like, you know, I know, I can kind of get the sense gradually, the more time you're apart from your kids, the bond is still there, you still love them the same, but you do feel like you're drifting away from them, and like it's an hour. It depends. It varies. Like I'd see mine now for an hour every week, and some parents don't get to see their kids just for an hour every month. So it kind of varies. It's rules for one and then rules for the other. It's a complete joke, and the system needs to be brought down now.
Yeah,
Like
I
honestly,
agree.
the
Yeah,
system needs to be brought down.
something seriously needs to happen. It's very very
And you
disturbing.
see, the media. The thing about the media is, I mean, the guards and the judges, the solicitors, the media, it's all the one. And they're told, basically, the media is told what to print.
Oh, of course, yeah. Lapdog media.
It's a joke now, and it's so unfair on parents because I've actually come across some parents that have took their own life due to never getting their kids back, and just lost the heart to keep fighting on. And it does. It makes me really angry. It makes me really angry because like I'd love to just give a piece of myself to everyone and help everyone, but unfortunately I can't because I've so much on. I'm working till 3 o'clock every morning and helping people just with different things, and I've my own stuff then in my personal life to do as well. So it's really hard. And then you've all them appointments. They literally give you an appointment every day of the week.
Okay. Right. So is there what's do you want to give a shout out to your Facebook page or how can we stay in how can we follow you, Laura, or how can we follow your group?
Well, we have a group. It's only recently kind of started up now, and we've 3 admins on the page so far. I'd be one of them.
Right.
And actually, one of the admins is not well at the moment, so he's just took a bit of a break. But like it'll gradually, as the months go on now, the page will progress. We've so many wonderful people on the page that know their stuff, that have dealt with family law, that know every person in Ireland knows Tusla. They're corrupt.
Right.
They take kids for money. That's what it is, and they don't take damaged kids. They will not take that. If you had a child, like I seen a child a few weeks ago out on the street, and her nappy was hitting the ground. She hadn't a flick of the clothes on her, and there's actually a guard's camera near my house. And lo and behold, where was the guards? Where was social services?
Yeah, it's they're
But yet they
yeah.
come, now, and they take kids that are spotlessly clean and are perfect. My kids were so mannerly. It's unbelievable. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
You know,
They're
they've
yeah.
never.
I was saying they're removing kids that shouldn't be removed and they're not removing kids that should be removed.
Definitely. You tell me now. We've put this question to the government already. Why is it not like a doctors' kids that are being took, or teachers' kids, or solicitors, their children? How come it's always from the working class families that children are being took?
Yeah, the working if I guess if you don't have enough food in your fridge, or if you don't I don't know what if you don't meet their standards, you could risk the
No,
possibility.
it's not even about meeting standards. Every time they were in my house, my fridge would be full up. Like, I mean, I'd be cooking the whole time. I'm a brilliant cook anyways now. I will give myself credit for something I can cook.
Right,
But
right.
it's never about food or like anything like that. They keep going on about emotional abuse. But I mean, my children are getting abused while they're actually.
Sorry, I lost you there for a second. Continue.
Oh no, it's fine. No, I was just saying. My kids are being abused as it is in care now anyway, so that's like emotional abuse.
Of
That's
course.
child
Yeah.
abuse. It's child neglect.
Yes.
So I mean, it's a joke now. It really is a joke.
All right. Is there anything now you want to say before I leave it there, Laura? Anything you want to get off your chest?
I just really now, I just like to say to parents out there, don't give up hope, because there's so many wonderful people out there that are fighting the good fight, that will help. If you need help with anything whatsoever. I mean, I travel up and down to meet parents now the whole time, and it's just not to give up hope, and just don't give in, because there's so many parents out there and they give up now. They do give up, and sometimes I don't blame them, because it is tough. It does wear you down by
Yeah.
times, but you just have to keep going. You have to keep
Right.
going.
Be strong and
These
keep
are our,
going.
these are our kids. We gave birth to them, so you can't just give
Yeah.
up on them and walk away. You need to fight. These are our kids, and we need to make a stand to the government and say, you're not stealing any more children. You're not kidnapping any more kids. I mean, it's over with, basically.
All right, that's great, Laura. Thanks for talking to me. Hopefully we can stay in contact, and we'll continue to hear your story, and hopefully you get your children back ASAP.
We will, Niall, and I will be in contact in that. And just before I go, like, we've a couple of things planned for the new year. So 2017 is going to be a good one.
It's going
I've
to
a
be a
couple
great
of
year.
tricks up my sleeve.
Right.
So I won't give anything away just yet,
Right.
but
Right.
it'll be good anyways.
All right, Laura. Thanks a million for talking to me.
No, thanks for taking the time to talk on that, Niall. I do really appreciate it.
No problem, Laura. I'll talk to you soon.
Same to you, Niall. Take care.
Bye.
Mind yourself. Bye. Bye.